Hello, in this lecture we will see 8086 processor timing or bus cycles. This lecture is pertaining to the timing diagrams in minimum mode, in maximum mode. Each of the bus cycle in 8086 microprocessor, it is of 4 T states: T1, T2, T3 and T4. And it is assuming that there are no wait states inserted. It means that the devices to which that bus cycle deals with, those are fast enough so as to complete their corresponding operation within that stipulated time of T1 to T4 steps. In case if those devices are slower devices, then wait states will be inserted between T3 and T4 state. There can be 1, 2 or more number of wait states can be inserted depending on the speed of that particular device, and accordingly bus cycle will get extended, elongated. Now the types of bus cycles in the minimum mode: read cycle, that is also called as the input cycle, and write cycle is output cycle. Read cycle means processor performs data read operation from the external memory device or external I/O device. So data is input towards processor. That's why it is input cycle. Similarly, write cycle means processor sends out some data to external device, memory or I/O device. It means that processor actually outputs data to memory or I/O device. That's why it is also called as the output cycle here. Similarly, the types of bus cycles in maximum mode, that is read cycle, input cycle, or write cycle, that is output cycle. One by one we will see all those bus cycles applicable to 8086 microprocessor. So here is a minimum mode read or input cycle, where processor reads data from external memory device or I/O device depending on one control signal which I will explain just now. Here, first of all, at the top is a clock signal which contains a 4 clock periods here. Falling edge of that clock to next falling edge is T1, similarly T2, T3 and T4 state. 4 clock cycles are clearly shown here. Next signal is extremely important, M/IO bar. It will decide whether this read operation or input operation is applicable to memory or I/O device. Here two different colors are used here. Whenever I want to perform say memory operation, then this signal which is shown in blue color is to be drawn, because M/IO bar, for memory operation this signal should be logic 1, and that too from the beginning of that bus cycle. So here initially signal is assumed to be 0, it becomes 1, it remains 1 throughout that bus cycle, and at the end of T4 this signal goes down, it becomes 0. This is for memory operation. Then the opposite, which is for I/O operation. M/IO bar signal will be 0 for I/O operation, which is shown here in the same diagram by using green. Initially signal is assumed to be logic 1, it becomes 0 at the beginning of that T1 state, it remains logic 0 throughout, and towards the end of that T4 state it becomes logic 1. It means that if my bus cycle is memory read bus cycle, then here for this M/IO bar signal, blue colored diagram is to be drawn. For I/O read operation, I/O read bus cycle, green colored diagram is to be drawn. Okay, instead of showing one more slide for memory read IO read in minimum mode. This has been compiled together just in a single place. Then next will be address status signals here. These are multiplex address status signal, and these are 5 lines basically. A16 to A19 BHE bar signal, which are multiplex with S3 to S7 status signals. The concept of multiplex address status signal already I have explained towards the start of the pin configuration. During T1 state here, that address, higher order address bit A16 to A19 and BHE bar signal will be output. And on the same bus here, status signals will be output during T2, T3 and T4 state. Status output S3 to S7. As you can observe it, that address part is also output and status is also output. So that address status bus in the timing diagram, there is no gap between address output and status output because both are flowing in the same direction. Both are output from the microprocessor. Whereas if you go for the next multiplex signal here, which is address data, you will find address data, that is a 16-bit multiplex address data bus, where during T1 state only address part will be output A0 to A15, and then processor prepares itself for receiving data, reading data or inputting data. That's why on that address data line you will find in that particular timing cycle some dotted lines, dotted horizontal lines, and then that data input D0 to D15 during T3 and T4 state. Now these dotted lines will indicate that high impedance state on address data lines. Why high impedance? It is just because address is output during T1 and data is to be input during T3 and T4 state here. So the reversal of direction of information is needed here, and that's why processor places that address data bus in high impedance state in between. Now the next is ALE signal, which is address latch enable signal, which is present in the form of a positive going pulse during T1 state, and thereafter T2, T3, T4, that will be logic 0 as shown here. This ALE pulse will be used for demultiplexing of above shown address data and address status signals. Okay, next will be a read bar control signal here. This read bar control signal is active low read control signal, which is to be active during T2, T3 and T4 state here. Because during T2, T3 and T4, that multiplex address data bus, it works as the data bus. And read operation is to be performed through data bus. But this read bar signal you will find, it is not activated exactly on the start of that T2 state here, it is slightly delayed. Because in case of actual timing diagram, that delay is inserted by the processor internally. So that read bar signal will be active during T2 state here. It will remain active during T2, T3 and T4 state, and towards the end of T4 that signal will go high. It will become inactive. Again that read bar signal will become inactive a bit earlier before even completion of that T4 state here. So read bar signal will be active during actual read operation here, and you can observe once that read bar signal is active, that read operation will be initiated, and when that data appears on that data bus, address data bus, that particular gap is shown here, that time lag is shown here as a device access time. In yellow color it is shown in this particular timing diagram. It means that device has been prompted to perform a read operation by read bar equal to 0 somewhere in T2, and the device responds and places data on the data bus somewhere in T3 state here. So this particular time lag is called as a device access time. Then next is DT/R bar signal, which will define the direction of data flow through data bus transceiver, and that data bus transceiver must be set in a receive mode because data is to be received by processor, to be input by processor, to be read by processor. Okay, that's why DTR bar signal initially assumed to be logic 1, but it is made logic 0 at the beginning of this bus cycle itself, and it remains logic 0 for entire data read operation, receive operation. Then the last signal here is about DEN bar, data enable bar. This signal will be used to enable that data bus buffer, data bus transceiver during actual read operation. That's why you can observe it that DEN bar signal, it takes exactly same timing diagram that of say read bar. So DN bar is equal to 0 during actual read operation somewhere in T2, T3 and T4 state. So this is about that minimum mode read cycle or input cycle. Now is minimum mode write cycle or output cycle. As usual, the clock is of 4T state, I need not explain. MIO bar signal is a composite signal. You have to draw only one depending on whether it is a memory write operation or IO write operation. It is to be shown as logic 0 for IO operation, logic 1 for memory operation. Already I have explained in earlier timing cycles. Then address status signal also I have explained that higher order address bus A16 to 19 and BHE bar will be output during T1, and immediately after that without any high impedance status will be output S3 to S7. Both are flowing in same direction, that's why no high impedance state in between. But in case of write operation, the next multiplex bus, address data bus, also carries that same logic. Address will be output A0 to A15. And in case of write operation, data is also output from the processor. Data D0 to D15 will be also output. That's why you can observe it in case of write operation. After output of A0 to A15 address bits, that data output is immediately followed without any high impedance state. So in case of write cycle, there is no high impedance state to be shown on address data lines. But in earlier read cycle or input cycle, there was high impedance state because address was output and data was input there. Next will be ALE signal. As usual during T1, it is in the form of a pulse which is used for demultiplexing of those multiplexed buses. Next will be write bar signal, which will be active during T2, T3 and T4. Again somewhere in between T2 and before the end of T4, that signal gets deactivated. It is the actual write bar signal. Then next is DT/R bar signal, which should be logic 1 for write operation, output operation, because it is transmit cycle, data transmit, and DTR bar signal should be logic 1 for data transmit. So initially logic 0, at the beginning of bus cycle it becomes logic 1 and remains logic 1 throughout. And then finally DEN bar signal. Buffer need to be enabled. Data bus buffers need to be enabled during actual write operation. That's why DEN bar signal will take the waveform just like write bar signal shown here. DEN bar signal will be active during T2, T3 and T4 state. Okay, and then this signal will become deactive, logic 1. So this is about that minimum mode write cycle or output cycle. You should be comfortable to draw a specific type of minimum write cycle. See, if question comes, draw and explain minimum mode memory write bus cycle. In case of this minimum mode memory write bus cycle, this MIO bar signal, this should be shown to logic 1 here throughout this bus cycle. So this is about that minimum mode timing diagrams here. Now next will be maximum mode timing diagram, out of which maximum mode read cycle or input cycle. Again, as usual, first part will be clock signal T1 to T4. Next, very important in case of maximum mode timing diagram here is about active low status signal S2 bar, S1 bar, S0 bar. In case of maximum mode here, these signals will be active during T1 and T2 state. That's why some of these signals will be 0, some of these signals will be 1. And during T3 and T4, all these signals will be logic 1, so those will be inactive. Okay, color combination is accordingly used here. During T1, T2, S0 to S2 bar signals will be active. So at least one of these signal will be at logic 0, at least one of the. Whereas here in T3 and T4, all these signals will be logic 1, inactive. Then next will be address status signal A16 to A19 and BHE bar. On these multiplex lines will be available during T1 state, and status output S3 to S7 will be output on T2, T3 and T4 states. There is no change from that of minimum mode here. Then next will be address data multiplex bus. Address A0 to A15 will be output during T1 state, and then there will be high impedance state, and processor prepares itself for data input operation through data bus D0 to D15. The data input operation probably will be performed during T3 and T4 state here. Then next will be ALE signal as usual in the form of a pulse during T1 state here, positive going pulse. Next will be memory read command or IO read command. A specific read command signal is to be now shown here. Okay, as the heading itself is maximum mode read cycle or input cycle, it is not specific to memory or IO. Otherwise, I would have shown here a specific control signal here, either memory read command or IO read command. But anyway, that control signal will be active during T2, T3 and T4 state here, which is shown by red colored in this particular timing diagram. This signal will be active somewhere between T2 state in actual assertion. And once that signal becomes active here, that device read operation will be started. And whenever the device places data on the data bus, this particular time gap, this particular time is shown as the device access time here. Again, it is shown using yellow color. Then next will be DT/R bar signal, which is given by attenuated bus controller. In the maximum mode, this signal is initially logic 1, it becomes logic 0 for data read operation or receive operation. It is logic 0 for data read or data receive operation throughout. Because read operation, receive operation, input operation is one and the same. Then next will be data enable signal here. This signal is active high, which is generated by attenuated bus controller. So this signal is initially logic 0, somewhere between T2 state. In accordance with that read control signal, this become active, means logic 1, and remains active during T2, T3 and T4 state here, and towards the end that signal will become logic 0. In fact, that data enable signal, which is active high data enable signal, which is actually inverted by using inverter, and then it is connected to octal data bus transceivers. In the design, this part we have covered up. So this is about maximum mode read or input cycle. Okay, keep in your mind that using that status signals, active low status signal S0 bar, S1 bar, S2 bar, decoding those status signal by using a clock, 8 bus controller will be generating ALE signal. Then device specific control signals like memory read command, IO read command in this particular timing cycle. Then DTR bar signal and DEN signal, which is active high. So these are the signals generated by 8 bus controller using S0 bar to S2 bar active low status signals. Now, maximum mode write or output cycle. Again, clock will be T1 to T4 shown here. S0 to S2 bar active during T1, T2. So both logics are shown red color. Inactive during T3 and T4, which is shown by blue color, logic 1. All these signals will be logic 1. Next will be address status signal A16 to A19 and BHE bar signal active during T1. Status will be output S3 to S7 during T2, T3, T4. Then next will be address data multiplex bus. Address A0 to A15 will be output. And data is also output, that's why there will not be any high impedance state in between, which was apparent in case of read cycle. So data will be immediately output here, D0 to D15. Then next will be ALE signal, address latch enable, which is in the form of a pulse. Next will be normal write signals. Okay, already in maximum mode configuration design, I have stated in my earlier lecture that memory write command or IO write command, these are the normal write command signals here, which are active during T3 and T4 state. It means that write operation will be started somewhere in T3 and it extends up to the end of T4 here. So signal will be active during T3 and T4 state. One specific control signal can be shown if my question is very specific, maximum mode memory write cycle. In that case, MWTC bar is to be shown. Timing cycle will remain one and the same. This is for normal write. In case of advanced write, what happens here? It is clearly shown in this particular diagram. Advanced memory write command or advanced IO write command signals. These are the advanced write signals here, which are active one clock cycle earlier. That means somewhere in T2 that signal will be active. T2, T3 and T4 state. And towards the end of T4 state here that signal will become inactive. Now both these signals need to be shown here, normal as well as advanced write. Because we don't know really that in the maximum mode design of memory and IO systems, whether it is the connection of normal write signal or advanced write signal. So both these signals are to be shown in that particular timing diagram. Then next will be DT/R bar signal. As it is write operation, transmit operation, that DT/R bar signal should be logic 1 for data write. So it is clearly shown by green color. And then finally here data enable, which is active high control signal, which is output from 8 bus controller, which will be active in accordance with that advanced write signal here, which covers up even the normal write. So whenever data enable bar signal is active during T2, T3, T4, if advanced write signals are used for the design, then still my buffers will be enabled because of active high signal of DEN, data enable. If normal write signals are connected in the design, then in that case during T3 and T4, still that data enable signal is active, that is logic 1, so that operation can be carried out. It means that data enable signal should take a proper waveform in accordance with that advanced write signals here. Now the final comment. Why only advanced write signals? Why not advanced read? The answer is quite natural. Read operation by its nature is faster, but write operation is slower. Anywhere, technical or non-technical, this is applicable. That's why additional time is required for the write operation. For read operation, no additional time required. So this is all about that timing cycles here.